Thank you for joining Chats with Wook Cavern here, sponsored by Drink. If you're ever thirsty, drink.
Drink.
It's drinky.
Drink. Sponsored by Earth.
Do you ever get
What?
Do you ever get in trouble for impersonating a doctor?
No. I've always made the joke that I have an online degree.
Yeah.
And then in my EPK, the closing statement is I've been specifically trained to operate your vibe.
Yeah.
That's great.
So,
Excellent.
Yeah.
What about you? Have you ever been, blamed for being sick?
What is
I've never been blamed for being sick.
You should stuff your ass one time and just come in with the
wear
fake
some
booty
ass
cheeks.
lifters or whatever the fuck.
Damn.
Whatever them girls got these days.
Yeah. They got them. Ask one. They'll figure it
You
out.
probably get a lot of girls that'll try to peg you. If you come in with that stupid thing, stupid thing.
Yeah.
They're gonna pull up that
Just say
stupid
no.
Don't knock
strap.
it. Hey,
No.
don't.
How do you spell N-O?
Don't knock it. Don't knock it till you try it. Alright. What is it that you have pulled up right here?
So what we have here is a collaboration between me, Stupid Thick, Wook Doctor, Logan, and Cody Adapt over here. And this is called Wave Rider.
Okay.
And it is some very early on product that has come from us sitting around and kind of just throwing some ideas together and no real direction.
Okay. So typically when you make a song, is it like, hey, let's sit down and make a song, or it's like, hey, let's fuck around and see what happens?
Well, we have
It's
the
a little bit
motivation, like, hey, let's sit down and make a song.
Yeah.
And then we'll just start fucking around. It's basically like just throwing stuff at a Velcro wall and seeing what sticks at first. And then you kind of get a cohesive idea, and then from there, it generally, you'll have that in a file like this. And then
what are we
later
using?
on, a lot of it
So what we
gets
got here
cut
is
out.
Logic, and it looks really small because everything's kind of grouped up.
Have you ever used Ableton?
I have actually never used Ableton.
Okay.
Have you?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I've
what is
never
your
used
preference?
I've used Ableton, FL, and Logic. And then one called, oh god, what was the one that I was making that horse shit on in SpaceX?
What is
It was called
GarageBand?
It was called Traction.
okay.
Okay.
So since you're somebody who's used every producing company, I guess, whatever software.
Yeah, the only one
what's
that's
your
mystery to me is
preference?
Pro Tools.
What's your preference?
Logic for
Logic?
sure. It's very user friendly once you get past the initial seeing. Like,
There's a lot going
it's
on
very,
on the face.
It's very basic up
Okay,
front,
but-
and then there's a lot of back end. But the mastering ability in it is top tier. Like that's why music schools use it.
Right. Okay. That's interesting.
I would definitely agree with that. So I use Ableton.
Yeah, he's an avid Ableton.
on the
That's
regular.
what I've learned on
use
Ableton.
on the regular, but as far as intuitive software goes,
Yeah.
I would say that Logic is the heavier hitter in that category.
So what makes it better?
Because exactly how they said in the mastering process of making music.
Can you zoom in on one of those
yeah, I
lines?
sure can.
So what are we looking
What
at
are you
right
looking
now?
at here? Okay,
So the green is all MIDI.
Yeah, so a lot of things that people use Ableton for and think it's a fucking godsend is because of the sampler. And Logic has the same exact thing. Mm-hmm. It's just, it's a little different. I mean, everything's different between
I've
programs,
used Ableton and then use Vital to make your wavelengths and shit like that.
What you're seeing here, every single one of these, this is the drums category essentially.
Mm-hmm.
And what you've got here, this is the snare line. So that is just this sample across.
So when you sit down to make a track, do you typically start with
The drums.
A bass. You start with the drums.
Drums.
Okay.
Build out some drums. Usually, what I personally do, I'll build out like a 4-bar. So I'll put on a little loop here. I'll build out a 4-bar section, and then if you look at the way the track is built, every 4 bars or 8 bars, you'll have a new element.
Right.
And so I'll just build out the thickest section of that, duplicate it a million times, delete stuff, delete a bunch of stuff.
Okay.
And that's what.
And
gives
then you've
you,
got at least then got the body of your song. So
you'll
so
see
play
in
it.
the intro there.
Yeah,
you're
so
missing
play
a lot
that.
of the hats.
Let's play that for that 8-bar in. What does
okay,
that
so
sound like?
that is just.
I haven't heard this one in a minute.
I know. I was like, yo, I forgot like what this sounded like.
Okay.
Real simple. You
Yeah.
could definitely even use some more elements right there.
Yeah, but I mean, you're still building an intro, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think that's really cool to see kind of, what goes behind it. So when you're sitting down and saying like, okay, let's make a beat, like you're like, all right, let's start with the drums. So, I mean, do you try to think about more of like a concept or idea, or I know you were like, Velcro wall, like throw down, see
So
what
there's a
sticks,
few
and
different
let's
ideas.
just stick around for 6 hours and maybe we'll figure something out.
There's a few different ways it works. So the most quick sessions happen with we want to go in this direction. You sit down with hey, let's make a jump up D&B track. Let's make this. Let's make that. And then you kind of gear it towards that. The more creative and fun sessions, however, are the ones where you end up arguing half the time. You're sitting there, you're screaming at each other. You're like, "This is horseshit. What is going on?" And then all of a sudden, it just clicks.
It clicks.
And then it's like, what do we have? How did we even get here?
I was gonna say, for this,
Those are fun.
this track, you've got 3 collaborative minds per se on here. So, like, how do you ensure that like each of you guys can individually come through? Is there something specific that you try to put in?
This one was particularly easy to do that with because we each took a turn. We'd have the captain's chair. And we would just trade off who was working on the track at the time. It wasn't like we were all sitting down going, "Oh, this needs to be done."
Right.
And
Right.
then
We're
so
kinda
we'd each
just all
have our
hanging
time
out.
with it.
You
And
hit
then
your limit, and you go,
we'd
"All
come
right,
back and kind of review another section. Oh,
we
this
did
needs
have
that. Or,
like an initial like jumping point, which was like a grouch track. This guy.
I was gonna say. So
Grouch.
what would you say is like the foundation or like the theme of this song that maybe
BPM,
that you
like,
guys tried to
really,
follow?
the
You just were like
BPM was,
BPM
like,
send
the
it.
biggest
We
thing
wanted to make
on
just like
this.
a jazzy groove.
Something
like a bomb.
Yeah.
Like
Okay.
BPM,
Brass.
something
Okay,
like
so you have a
beat.
general idea
Yeah.
of like the
it's
theme.
It's nothing with like a heavy drop or anything like. It's
Okay.
just a
We just,
groovy track.
more
Here, if, like,
of like
Yeah, play a little. So what would you say? Play a little
So
part.
I'll just pick up from right where the grooves. About to
Okay.
kick in.
So like that.
more of a consistent groove throughout the entire track
Yeah.
rather than like an inflection of one groove to another.
Right. And that's. I mean,
Keeping the
that's
groove
too.
Dancey track, really.
Yeah. That's the shit that hits.
The little horn action, trumpets.
Yeah, well, that's what we were going for because Cody likes doing that, like more like middle, like Louisiana style swing.
Yeah, it's really a
low-
blending
low
of styles.
brassy.
Yeah.
yeah.
that's
Because
cool.
I would never make something like this on my own.
Right.
And I like my sustained bass tracks.
And it's
Okay,
really,
so what would
honestly,
be
yeah, it's
between the 3 of
influence
you?
back
The
and
3
forth.
of you as individually, we can like go around. But like, what would you say is like one part of your music that like defines your sound?
Whew.
That like you would like to translate. So in a collaborative effort, you're
This
like,
might be
okay, like this
easier
is
to do
I
for
want
each other.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So for him,
Yeah, describe his music.
He makes stuff that's it's rap beat based.
Uh-huh.
So it'll start more in the rap culture. It'll have less of a build and more of a flow. And for his, it's more of a jazzy funk, and
Right.
more of what you've just heard here. And I'd say for mine,
yeah, for you definitely, he has more of that like classic dubstep sound.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
That's where like the
100%.
mainstream appeal and everything
Classic.
kind of comes out in the collabs.
Yes.
Is that the higher little screeches, and me and him call them little guys.
yeah,
Like every beat
little
needs
guy
a
on the
little
track.
guy dancing
Yes.
on top of it.
Yes,
just
yes,
a little.
yes.
Yeah.
Yep.
And stuff like that. That's always
The ear
been his
candy.
sound. So
Yeah.
in the collabs, you can definitely tell like in some of the swings and a lot of like the movement of the lead is a lot of his sound there coming through using before you had geared the question in that direction,
Right.
I initially was going to say distortion.
Okay.
That's my best friend.
Yeah. What is so you guys have also been working on a track?
Yeah, we have like this Lion King thing that's like
Can you
off
pull it
the
up?
walls. Yeah, I can pull it up on my SoundCloud real quick.
So
This one was a little bit of a smorgasbord. This
Okay.
one was
This
definitely the
is-
Velcro wall.
Okay.
okay.
So because we started this working relationship
Yeah.
Friends.
as a friendship.
Yeah. Do you feel like that makes it easier for you guys to make music
a ton.
together?
100%.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
half of it's arguing.
And
And if you can't have
but
that
it's
honest
not,
opinion,
It's hard to make a track be
That's
informal.
good that you say that
But
because
it's
nobody wants
not-
to say that. Like half of
It's
it,
so true.
you're
There-
fucking gonna butt heads.
Yeah, you're down
gonna
dirty
butt
in
we're
the
heads.
not. But the thing is, we're not even butting heads.
Right.
Like we.
But we're honest if we-
Yeah.
We have an understanding with one another that
Yeah.
like when we say something, it's not a personal attack on like your
Yeah.
idea.
Right.
It is just like,
It's like maybe this just isn't
yo,
right now.
straight
Yeah.
up, like this does not
Try
fit
this.
the
This
vibe.
might
That or
And,
sometimes
like-
you've listened to something for an
Yeah.
hour straight on
Yeah.
loop and you're down with it, but then homie
Yeah.
walks in the room and they're
You're
like, that
fuck
sounds like
that.
shit.
That sounds like dog shit.
And-
and you need to hear
100%.
that sometimes.
Right.
when,
Yeah.
and when
You're gonna
you-
defend it no matter
when
what.
you
Right.
do music, I think you at a certain point you realize that you absolutely have to have that open mindset of somebody coming in and telling you that
Happy
this
shit.
part or this piece
Right.
of music that you are creating is not very good,
Yeah.
and it can
And
come
but
from
that's definitely
multiple-
that's a lot of growth too, because it's being able to have that open mindset with people you know versus also people that you don't know that are gonna have that same similar opinion and knowing like
There's
hey,
no room for feelings in the studio.
Oh
Yeah, now
Let's
if
just put
I'm
it
doing a
out.
collab
This
with someone I don't
yeah.
personally know,
Good,
I'd rather
okay.
bounce stems.
yeah.
Yeah, I'll just
I
email
was
that
gonna say,
shit.
so like, how do you approach, something like working in a studio? You guys are like fucking boys, but like working with somebody that you may not, be as close. Do you feel like that
So
changes the dynamic?
I've done this a couple of times, and I know Landon has as well. Is where you just kind of commandeer the track,
Okay.
and so
Pretty
you
much, yeah.
you get all the pieces they want to input,
Okay.
and then you do what you want with them
See
to
what's
make it
important to
sound.
them.
Yeah, you got to make it sound right. Like
Right.
at the end of the day, you're not going to put out like a dog turd. You want a polished dog turd.
Right.
You want glitter in that
Exactly.
shit.
Exactly.
So like,
Unfortunately, a lot of
Yeah.
collab tracks are. And
So- someone takes
say
it
this-
over.
Yeah.
I'll say this from experience. You don't want to give out your best work.
Okay.
You're going to give out something that you've kind of given up on. And
Okay.
you get to a point where you're like, I don't know where I can take this.
Right.
And it's not always true.
It's the
So
best.
don't-
It's the
don't-
best of both
it's
worlds.
not always true.
Not
Yeah.
always something
But-
that it's something you've given up on,
because
but
like
it's
when you're holding
you've
on to a
taken
little
it,
piece of
Don't
gold,
know
right,
where
you
you've
to
generally
taken
want
it
that.
as far as you
Yeah.
can, and
that's
it
what
needs
I'm
a different,
not giving up,
it needs a different set of eyes. Absolutely. So
Right.
what do you have here? This is
So
something
this
that you
is
guys
going to be
did.
me and Adapt here.
Okay.
So this is the Lion King madness.
This is
It
that
was
So is this like a little mix?
no. This
Or
is
this is a track?
it's a track. It's like a minute work in progress. It's two half build drops.
Okay.
So it's definitely not finished in any way, shape, or form. I
That's
just
okay.
mastered it to be able to play.
Yeah.
we
Should throw that shit on Splice and let someone sample it.
we
So like for example, all those melodies in there, I would never have put in had he not been like,
Yeah.
oh, we need a melody here.
Some
like,
funky shit.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I definitely hear that a lot in what he's bringing in. That's funny.
artists come together and are able to mesh their styles, their knowledge.
To do so too, in a constructive way. Be able to like dish it out kindly, and then but also being able to receive it and being able to grow from it in especially the industry. Something like that is fucking really important.
This is what kind of tuned me to Logic originally.
Mm-hmm.
Was I get stems from somebody out of Ableton. I've sent them the initial stems,
Right.
and they've worked on them and sent them back, and they just sound, I don't know, like in a
It's
box.
different.
It
Right.
doesn't sound.
it
Yeah, it
is
doesn't
different.
sound as good. Like it's
Right.
not as clear,
'Cause
not as crisp.
each
So I have to go back
software
and rework their entire
is-
section
Yeah.
to make it all
Render-
sound.
I like
one.
what you said too. You know, it has better ability for mastering because a lot of people I
it
think,
does.
just have to like teach themselves that,
Yeah.
like the little things.
And then,
But-
like, you spend a lot of money mastering your music. Like, you're already spending a lot of money advertising, getting artwork,
Right,
unless you
right,
do it
right.
yourself. Like, there's a lot of things that cost you money with releasing music, and if you can master it, you're saving yourselves 60
Right.
to $150 a track.
So how is you mentioned Gas Buddies? So when did that come about for you guys, and why did or I don't want to say like why, but like kind of like where were you guys like? What was the track that kind of brought y'all two together on that?
Oh gosh, so that was
Jeez.
2018. We had started the Wub Tub, and the same night we got Stupid Thick fully branded and online.
I thought that was more of a 2017 idea.
No, that was
No, that's when I started
Oh.
like making music.
Yeah,
Pre-COVID,
that was his
pre-COVID or
branding.
post-COVID?
pre-COVID.
Pre-
Yeah,
Yeah.
No,
So
the
we're
Stupid
like
Thick branding
20
was like end of 2018.
Okay.
Yeah,
2018,
December was when
2019.
we started
Way
everything.
Yeah, December
Okay.
2018.
Okay.
First
Then
releases in 2019.
We did. I was working as Space Ass at the time.
Oh yeah.
Space what?
Space Ass.
Okay.
And-
What is that one more time?
Space Ass.
No, I know, but I heard it.
Oh,
but
that
like-
was
Oh, you gotta see the logo.
that was before Wook Doctor. That was
Okay.
gonna be me.
So wait, Space Ass was you.
That was me.
Okay, got
That
it.
was him.
I got music up under it and
Look
everything.
at the logo.
He was-
Yeah.
Oh,
He was- yeah, he was
love
releasing music.
Space
Yeah.
Ass.
Because of that, we were going to start a trio called the Space Force.
Okay.
And so we all had dumb military ranks. and
Uh-huh.
It was a
I
whole
like
ass
it.
thing. Like,
I
I
like
want to
it.
say somewhere
So
on the
this
Space
is like
Ass page,
circa
there's like a
what?
Commander Space Ass.
2017, 18?
2018.
2018.
And so 2019, we started working on a track where I was still Space Ass, and we were
Uh-huh.
released on the Wub Tub.
Oh, it was so bad.
And it was called Boofing 5 Gum in the Kmart parking
Do we
lot.
have it?
Oh, yeah.
Do we
Yeah,
have
no,
it?
it's still online.
And
Hold on.
so that one
type in-
definitely has a story behind it. I really wanted to make an Indian song.
Uh-huh.
This is not an Indian song.
Okay. Got it.
So we start making it, and
type boofing gum into SoundCloud and see where it pops up.
So the
Okay.
initial sample that you're hearing with that sounds like a modulated alien voice is an old school Indian, like, oh,
Yeah. I
that's
know
that. All fucked up and stretched out.
It's straight noise.
Oh my
It's
God.
Crazy how far we've come.
Yes, this is like the first Gas Buddy release that we did.
Look at our cover.
I think you could sell t-shirts.
Big long weird intro. Still going. This was music, man. Oh, hold on. And then it turns into a beat.
Coming up, we get the kicks coming in.
Let's play on beat.
Big air horn.
This is definitely a meme track by the time we got
And finally have some kick and snare.
Until you change your mindset, money won't help you.
4 years old.
So let's talk about, this track, this is probably like origin, we can say like origin story,
This
so
is
how,
origin noise.
so,
Yeah,
right.
we're focusing on the weird noises, heavy bass,
Yeah.
out of nowhere vocal chops here and
And
there.
this was the
saying
first time you
nonsense.
guys worked more so together as like a collective.
We had always been working on tracks, but it was when we finally decided, hey, we're brothers. We are
Right.
always hanging out doing music together. Why aren't we making music together?
Right.
And so that kind of sparked the idea of, we need a good name.
Right.
And so Gas Buddy is a playoff of Liquid Stranger.
Yeah, we got
And-
Gas Buddy, we got Solid Friend, and we got Liquid Strangers.
Yeah.
2 steps away. It's not very
Okay.
far, but
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's not really too creative in the name, but I mean, it's definitely something that
because
It's
that
a
was an
little
inspiration
different.
for us.
Yeah.
It was Liquid Stranger.
No, I love that.
Yeah.
And so how would you say your sound has changed over time, from making a track like that
drastically.
into
Oh,
now?
man.
mine has Mine personally, I've come into a sound, whereas I didn't have one more
Right.
so before, and I'm still kind of figuring that out as
Where
I go. He
is-
definitely found his rut.
I had to rein in a sound.
Yeah.
Right.
He had to find a sound. I had to rein in a sound.
Like when you're making a track as an individual,
Mm-hmm.
what are some things that you immediately are like, I want to include this?
Mine
this,
are-
and
Okay,
this.
so here I
Dark,
can make this.
bouncy,
Okay.
heavy.
Okay.
I can make this real simple. I say it all the time. If I'm not stomping around my living room
Okay.
to the song I'm making,
Okay.
Oh, he makes stomping music.
yeah,
Okay.
I want to
He
make
wants
something
to sit there.
Right.
I want to stomp
Yeah.
around my room.
Okay, so stomping music.
If
Okay.
it's got me going, then
Do you try to follow a specific like BPM range?
not really. Sometimes I'll even start a track.
Yeah,
and
recently
a
you've
certain-
been going in some weird directions.
Yeah, I mean, I've jumped from. Man, I'll do anything.
For a
Okay.
while, he was
170,
doing a lot of 140,
90,
150.
Yeah.
120 recently.
Okay.
All over the place. It's just
So-
kind of however it feels right
Uh-huh.
for that song.
Okay.
And sometimes you'll start it. Say you'll start a song at like 128 or something like that, trying to hit a house vibe, and then you're like, no, this has to
yeah.
be 140.
Right.
Or you start at 140 and you're like, this needs to be 150.
Right.
Vice versa. It happens either way, and it's whatever the feel of the track is, the elements you introduce, and
Yeah.
kind of how it plays
Okay.
out.
Okay.
For
and,
me, anyway.
And so, how would you describe, your sound more so, and like how that can, differentiate from himself?
So his is I definitely
beat
use,
stomping.
I've always been more of a visual aspect person.
Mm-hmm.
He has a lighter sound. I have a darker sound. Mine's always been dark, bouncy, heavy. I like stuff that you can sit there and headbang, but at the same time, you might want to shake your ass to it.
Yeah.
It really, really varies. And I forgot what dumb little spiel I put in my EPK, but I wrote it years ago. And it still works though, just because I've stayed true to like initially what I wanted to do, but I've more so just developed a proper sound and made it sound more
Yeah.
correct.
So I want to go a little bit back to the early days of the boys. So we'll just thinking like high school. So you went to Mandarin. Is there like looking at your lives now? Like how would that differ to like what you thought you were gonna do? Did you have a different plan, or you were like music?
I mean, it kind of lined up perfect with you bringing up high school, because towards the tail end of high school, Landon was listening to like Russian techno and like crazy fashion.
Yeah.
Like,
That
little-
sounds some fucking.
like
The
he would love some
fascists,
little
bro.
techno.
There was
Yeah.
only like Tiesto.
Yeah,
Little Texas?
We were, like, working at this one place with
That
this guy
time was
named
fucking
Alan,
great.
and it was like
Yeah.
he had in-home work thing that we would do multiple different facets of industries. We did appraising, antique sales, a lot of it stuff with antiquities, stuff like that.
Totally
Okay.
different
But
field.
we would just do all
Nothing
that
music related.
while blaring fucking hardstyle.
So hard style was
Yeah.
the vibe for y'all, and this is looking at. I mean, I'm thinking. I'm talking like. I mean, what year did you guys
Oh
graduate
no, we're
high
talking
school?
like 20...
12?
Shit, no, I graduated
I was-
in 2009.
Yeah, no, this was,
Yeah,
this
that's
was
right, 'cause
early.
you and I are
This
very
was
close in age.
2007,
Yeah.
2008.
Okay, so we're in
And then,
singular digit.
Oh
thousands.
yeah, no, this was
I
like...
mean, I was
All the
Yeah.
way back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
I was still
getting
in high
out
school,
of high
yeah.
school,
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
randomly just wanted to DJ after he quit playing guitar. And
Yeah, it started with me playing guitar, and then I got into bangerang at TSI.
Uh-huh.
Oh, man.
Anyone
We
knows
talked
that?
about that. Yeah. Okay.
It's mid now.
Yep.
So yeah, that's where I got my start. Split off, went and did the mainstream thing over at Wide Awake Wednesdays, Pure. Played a lot of house music. That's actually where I got my start.
When did you start like deciding that you liked mixing music and wanted to play and DJ in front of people?
2012.
Okay, so
is
how
when
old
I
are you?
started.
How old are you?
Whatever the math. Born in 91. Somebody do the math.
You're,
01 plus
22.
12, so you're like 21, 22.
22,
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
He's able to start going out partying and drinking.
Right.
You know, probably
Yeah.
Of
that's
age. Got it.
Being a
But he
full
shows up
degenerate.
at home with a little Newmark mix track.
Uh-huh.
oh man, yeah, I was
2 weeks later,
And so
he
you're like
returns that
18
shit and
basically.
comes back with
You're
a
like
board.
just becoming of so you're
Yeah.
like becoming of age and he's
No, like
learning how to
when
drink.
he was
He's
a
making
resident-
montages playing Call of Duty.
Yeah.
Okay.
That was my
Hell yeah.
intro to EDM.
Yeah.
was
That's
I was
got
playing
it.
Just as
montages,
cool.
And I was using a lot
Right.
of DMB, drum and bass.
Okay.
Like
So it was
drum
pretty
step,
it was
as
fairly
used to be
early
called.
on then, you're
Yeah,
teenagers.
It's kind of always been there, and it's really nice to finally be able to, branch it out and
Yeah.
see where it goes.
Also,
and-
like when we were that age, it was way different too.
oh
It
yeah,
was so much fucking
The
different.
scene was
now.
completely
that's what I'm
different.
Yeah.
saying. You had like Tiesto,
Right.
and,
Like-
and
I was
Calvin
gonna
Harris.
say, how does it
I remember the
differ?
Yeah.
heaviest show that came to town.
There was no heavy bass.
How does it differ?
Cruella.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Okay.
Cruella at the time.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cruella,
wow.
we had a trio.
Cruella,
We
wow.
did Steve Aoki.
Mhm.
Yes,
it was
we
–
did.
So it was your classics, like back in the time. It was the like upbeat, happy kind of like.
Dude, what
I don't know. I'm just trying to like generalize it because let me
Big Room
tell you,
House.
when I was
It's called Big Room House. That's what I
okay,
listened to.
okay, got it. So it's still like down tempo, like underground EDM. Yeah, that shit didn't exist.
Heavy electro and shit like that. That's what I started DJing.
Okay.
So
The best song reference is wow 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 wow.
we all know it.
Everyone knows
Yes,
that.
yes.
That's a certain age group
Big
right
Room
there.
House.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, was there a specific like song or moment that was like for you saying like, oh shit, like I could do this, like I want to do this, is there, was there ever like that point, or was it just kind of
A
like
good one for me was opening for Excision in,
Okay.
what was that, 2012?
Yeah,
or
that
something
was
like
at
that?
Aqua in the main room.
Way
Yeah,
before.
that was like my
2012? I was a sophomore in high
Yeah.
school.
Shut your mouth.
first. Excision was probably like 35 or something.
Right,
like that.
right. Yep,
Back
right there.
chilling, trying to hide from security.
Yeah.
Fucking insane, man. You opened for
X's on your
Yeah,
X's on your
yeah.
fucking.
It was great. It was like one of my first
Oh, no,
time
I
playing
didn't
on
have a wristband. I was
CDJs.
just
Yeah.
hiding.
And it just, I don't know what it was. Something about being nervous and just having I don't know, there was the energy just to force me to
You
do
also
it.
played
Yeah.
close to like
Were
1,000 people that night.
Yeah,
Wow.
no, it was fucking
So from the beginning then,
Wow.
from the beginning then, early off where was that you played that
That was
set?
Aqua night.
So that is Florida. So that is Florida.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's
I was gonna
Jacksonville.
say Aqua.
Yeah.
Yeah, bro. I used to play in Aqua.
Yes.
What the fuck?
So this, I mean, you think about that now. I mean, that's over 10 years ago. That's crazy.
So I started with house,
Uh-huh.
played house for a long time. I got out of the scene for a few years and then came back by producing, really.
Okay.
And then I started to get into producing, and then I was like, okay, it's kind of time to get back into things.
Okay. So let's go back to those few years then, that downtime, what was happening during that time? Because, this is now, we're thinking like post high school and kind of figuring out like what you want to do.
yeah,
So what was going on during that
exactly.
period where you figured out what you wanted to do
So,
and then
like-
you were like landed on music?
Man, it was...
There was a couple transitionary switches there. Like it was kind of funny. So he got out of the whole pure game, and he wasn't promoting anymore. He wasn't doing resident DJ slots.
Really didn't do much
And
with it at all. For
That's when, because
years,
I
2-3
was
years.
16 when he started doing that, and I was getting to the club 16,
Yeah.
17. I actually went there for my 18th birthday.
Went
and,
where?
At
To Pure, yeah.
Okay.
And
yeah,
everyone
yeah.
was like, "Wait, what? It's your 18th
Wait,
birthday."
you're just
Right.
now 18? You've been
Right.
partying
You've
for
been
2
partying
years.
here for...
Yeah, with a wristband,
wait.
drink pass.
That's
Oopsie, be like...
And we can talk about this because they're close. so don't worry
Right.
about it.
It's okay. No
But,
more illegal shit.
In 2014, I'm driving
Okay.
down to an art exhibit in South Florida. I used to blow glass all the time. That was like
Okay.
that was
You did that alone.
Really
yeah,
amazing.
That was
The
my
glass
big-
blowing
that
thing
was
was
my
your
big
amazing
glass
artwork.
Yeah,
figures.
okay.
Oh,
And
man.
so like
We do a whole podcast
it's
on
still
that.
a passion,
Yeah.
but like
We
that's
could.
what got me into art. And like
Yeah.
that
Yeah, it really
I
did.
wanted to host like art festivals, and so then Landon's like, well fuck, we can just do shows and you can have vendors, and I
Yeah.
was like, well I want to focus on the vendors.
Right.
But then
Right.
as time went on, everyone just cared about the music anyways. he wanted to start hosting. He wanted to start making music again. So 2017, he starts making music again.
No, started making for the first time.
We're going out.
Okay.
As a DJ before.
Right.
Doing
To actually getting
stuff,
so you're kind of so for kind of both of you were in that like you're always around music and getting mixing. You know, that's kind of the first thing you learn is how to DJ, and then going more so into the producing aspect and making the sounds yourself. So when did you start? And for both of you, when did you start taking that like more seriously and saying like, okay, this is what I want to do? Was there ever like a defining moment of like or even like you could say even say like a viral
2018.
Okay, so what's special about that date?
That is the day Stupid Thick became officially Stupid Thick. We released his first song on my new label / collective, the Love Tub. We released it all on the same night.
Oh yeah, we sat big energy on it. We were real hype about it.
We sat around. We
pushed all our friends.
We were living together in the same house.
Yeah.
We were just chilling in the studio and just.
It was a good brother moment too.
Idea.
Yeah.
It was a good brother moment. It was because like growing up, you always have your back and forths, your arguments and whatnot.
Right.
But this was something we agreed on. It's a true passion of both of ours,
Yeah.
and we kind of went, "Hey, let's do this."
Like actually.
But I mean, had it not been for Landon,
and we never knew
to
how
do all of his music stuff,
but
I probably would have
we just
never
knew that we wanted to.
taken that.
Yeah.
Honestly, it's
I was
great.
gonna say that too. How is it differentiated? Having the support system, I guess, of a sibling
I was
that
gonna say it's great that you guys did it. as
that
brothers.
you have each
Yeah.
other.
I mean, it's
you know,
more of an honest resource.
It's great.
and that's good.
Yeah, because it's a no
That's very
judgment
true.
back and forth. Like if it
Yeah.
sucks, I'm gonna be like, "Hey,
It sucks.
Yeah.
I won't
It sucks,
sugarcoat
He'll
it
shoot
at
me
all."
Right.
tracks,
Yeah.
and I'll
Yeah.
respond. He's like,
I mean,
okay,
to be
that's
real,
okay.
No, I get it. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, he won't say shit. I'm like, okay, all right,
Cool.
got it.
It's good, bro. It's good, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You play it live, they sit down. Okay,
Yeah.
Okay.
same thing.
So you guys, now collaborate together and you have Gas Buddy. So when did Gas Buddy
Gas
kind
Buddy
of
started out as a
come?
collaborative DJ project more than
Okay.
anything, and that was us going back to back.
And I mean,
And-
that's really how our sets though go.
Yeah.
We
And
like,
it's song to
if
song.
We have, like,
he plays a song, I play a song. It's not like 3 or 4,
Yeah.
something like that. It's
One
really
each.
the most blending of energies you
One
can
each.
get.
Right.
yeah,
One
track
each.
to track,
One
boom,
each.
boom, boom, back to back. But
Yeah.
like,
Which is a little bit trickier, I
if
feel.
we have sets throughout
Could
the
be
night,
more
like
interesting.
say I'm playing a
You
solo.
watch us close, we
he's
are
playing
No,
a
so
solo.
I know. Trust me, I see.
So,
you guys
when-
do live.
all our DJ
When
tracks.
you guys are playing together, is there something specific that like you want to highlight as
party.
your?
The
Well,
party.
okay.
The party.
I get the party as a collective, but I'm talking like
No.
As you-
That's Gas Buddy.
okay,
Yeah,
okay.
That is it. That's
Gas
literally
Buddy is the ultimate
So
of the party.
so when you come together, you're like
Yeah.
fuck Wook Doctor, fuck Stupid Thick versus Gas Buddy.
Gas
Go
Buddy.
the
Yeah,
fuck
we're going
on.
in.
I love
Yeah.
We're gonna
that.
play the
I love
fakest
that.
every time
Okay.
you guys
It's
say
not
the same
about
shit,
the
but you guys
party.
are fucking ready for
I
this
love
shit.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we just we'll just start
Yes.
yelling back and forth on the mic. If there's a
Yeah.
Great.
vocal track, that shit's getting played.
It's
Oh,
crazy.
yeah.
It's all about the party.
I love
And you can
that.
always see
Like,
them.
if there was a good LMFA party,
I think-
party anthem remix,
rock.
I would totally play it.
That's really good. That's really good. Like I think that makes
Oh,
like
man.
specifically Gas Buddy like special versus like a different like collaborative group is because like you guys are able to put your egos aside and say like this isn't about me. Like I don't want to stand out more than you. You know, you guys are there for the collaborative effort of saying this is Gas Buddy. We're gonna make sure everyone's having a good fucking time.
Yeah.
Yeah, for me,
Like,
it's,
if I
it's
want
the
to sit there and
ultimate.
play originals, I'm just gonna
That's a
do
Wook
that in
Doctor
a
set.
solo.
Yeah.
set.
Right,
Like I do
right.
that in a
Right.
duo.
Yeah.
Gas Buddy for
Yeah.
me is the ultimate let loose.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't have to worry about, am I on brand?
That's awesome.
Any
No,
of it.
it's
just,
absolutely
I'm up here DJing.
different,
I'm
'cause
playing
when-
tracks. I'm looking at the crowd.
Yes.
It's crowd work. That's
Yeah.
what Gas Buddy is.
Because when you both do your own single Wook Doctor Stupid Thick stuff, it is not the same when you two are
No.
together.
Yeah.
Absolutely
Yeah.
not.
And I would like,
Yeah.
I would like to think that.
How would
like,
you say it's
combined is-
different? How would you say it? So like versus like I know you said you're like okay yeah like Gas Buddy is the party. So like going up and playing an individual set, what's something that you want to ensure that you bring to the forefront that you're less like focused on as like a collaborative effort?
Me, I want to showcase my art.
Right.
So that's my chance to go, okay, here's what I've been working on. Sometimes it works with our sets, sometimes it doesn't. And it just, for solo sets, it's, like I said, it's my chance to go, here's what I've been sitting for hours on end working on.
Yeah.
And I hope you like it. If you don't, I'll see it. I won't play it again. But ultimately, it's really my chance. When I play a Stupid Thick set, it's my chance to play my art.
Yeah.
It's my chance to put out there what I've been sitting here working on, and that's the best part about that. Is
What's
just
really
go,
great
here it is.
I've seen the both of them separate and single times, like together
several
in
times.
the crowd several times. All that
Yeah.
several times. I can say that one time, but when he opened for Tape B, you had second slot at Celine.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
I missed that.
was amazing. Like I swear to
I
you,
wanted to go to that.
the hype and energy that Landon brought.
Yeah.
Not
was
to
the
mention
hype.
Utah
Yes.
and the
The
visuals.
visuals,
yeah.
they definitely,
Oh my gosh.
they
I
definitely are
love being
blessed.
able to do that.
He
I
turned
haven't even
that
mentioned
stage
it.
Yes.
into a festival.
No,
So-
without a doubt,
Hell yeah.
The best part-
having Utah there,
Yeah,
that makes your
that's
guys'
another
set
thing.
insane.
We didn't even mention that.
Yeah.
Gas Buddy performances pretty much always exclusively include a Utah visuals performance as well.
I love
Yeah.
that.
And it's
Shout
just,
out
it takes it to the
Utah.
whole next
Utah
level.
visuals.
Come
Yeah.
in.
Kind of draws back to
Shout out
like
Rosso.
what we had talked about
Yeah.
earlier while we were doing the production thing was how not just Gas Buddy, but Wub Tub has always incorporated Utah.
Yeah.
Like because
Part of
when
the
we
team,
do our
it's part of the-
production and everything
Yeah.
like that,
It's an
you
important
can't have a
aspect.
full production without visuals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And nothing better than someone who sat there and really honed in on their skill
Yeah.
and has perfected it to a professional level that you can trust and ensure the whole show is going to run right. Everything's going to look perfect. All we have to do is make sure it sounds perfect.
flawless.
Especially too,
like, it's
somebody
just
that you
a
know,
amazing-
somebody that
yeah,
can
amazing
stand
production
for
to a
stand for
team.
your
He
sound.
sits here, he'll work hours endlessly on his visuals. I'm
Yeah.
over there making a song.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's not just that we perform together, we build together. as
Yes.
well. And
Yes.
then, like he'll
And that
he'll
makes
show
for
me
better
what he's working on and vice versa.
Music,
and we'll get-
better visuals that way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you
Bouncing
work
ideas
on it
off people.
together.
Like, that's
Yeah.
always the
Yeah.
number one thing.
From
Like,
day
Yeah.
one, it's been the three of us, and
Yeah.
that's never going to change.
And
That's
it's
the best
fucking
part.
killer.
That's awesome.
Like
it's great.
the root
their
of the
visuals-
Wub Tub. Yeah.
his visuals,
It's the triangle.
insane during the set. No other set that was there. Not
Yeah.
even Tape B's himself was up to that part.
That's awesome.
And
Yeah, no.
the
Hate
crowd
to say, 'cause
themselves
it did
was the
not look as
hype.
good,
The
but,
crowd.
like,
We try to bring him for that reason.
Same thing.
That's good
for
though. That
Logan.
gives your
Yeah.
fans something to look forward to. Where they say see where they see Gas Buddy and they're like, okay, this is gonna be a really good.
It's just gonna be lit.
collaborative
This
effort.
is the fuck all you gotta say.
Everything down,
This is gonna be fucking lit.
down to the
Right.
visuals themselves.
It's
That's
always a
awesome.
great feeling because, like the other night under the bridge, we had people left and right coming up to us. Yo, when are y'all
gonna
getting
play?
on? When are y'all gonna play? Are you
Play-
doing
playing
Gas
tonight?
Buddy
You doing
tonight?
Gas Buddy?
Like,
Yeah.
People
All-
want
I
that
love
Gas
that.
Buddy
all
now.
night.
Yes.
Like, I can't wait.
They
It
love
makes-
that hype.
It's
Yeah.
so exciting for
Yes.
us too
Yeah.
to hear that from people.
Yes.
Yeah, because we got to
It
play our
confirms
first
what you do.
festival that
It's incredible.
we ever got to play.
Yonderville, yeah,
yeah.
was
Ah.
Gas Buddy.
That was cool.
That
as
was
shit.
Right.
Where was that?
That was in West
Wisconsin?
Virginia,
West
Yeah,
Virginia.
West Virginia.
Marvin's
Yeah.
Mountaintop.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it was a private little.
So you guys were booked
private
together as
area.
Gas Buddy?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Liquid Stranger headline.
Oh,
It was
my
really
God.
fun.
So
There
you
you
know
go.
that shit was lit.
That was
Same
it.
experience.
So,
Yeah.
so
Great.
giving any artist DJ, I know I asked you. We'll go through it again. But what would be your dream artist to open for? I know you said what'd
Direct
you say,
support?
Mythum.
Mythum, Not Low. I want
Yeah.
to be on the same lineup as them, and then I want
Who's
Yeti-
headlining?
Yeti
Getty.
or Turnia,
Yes,
one of the
Turny and
two.
Sound.
Yeah.
Because both those are just a good,
Yeah.
bouncy, fun, but you still get that
Heavy
bass crowd.
wub.
Yes.
Yes.
It's those people that how can you not like them?
Yeah.
The
You know what I
weird
mean?
shit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's so
Yeah.
tough for me. I can't
Yeah.
even answer it.
Yeah.
There's so many huge
You
influential
wouldn't
artists.
even
Yeah.
Realistically,
Somebody that you would wanna
your-
open
some of your
for,
dream
somebody that you would
was,
wanna open
UBDS
for,
LS
or
Dream,
even
Liquid
still-
Stranger.
I was thinking,
Even
it's
sort of somebody
that's really
somebody
the-
that
that's
influences you as an artist of in your music and your sound and
Martin, Liquid Stranger.
okay, that's
I mean,
it.
as
That's
you
it,
heard
yeah.
from the latest track, I've been trying to hone that in for
Yeah.
years now.
That
Yeah.
sound.
Yeah, it's
That's
such a
right.
unique,
It is.
it's groovy, vibey, high energy.
Trappy.
And, yeah.
Yeah.
It mixes very well. There's
Yeah.
always this slight vocal
And
element
it's not
to
like
it.
negative. It's all as I was saying, bright.
right.
Yeah,
Right.
it's not deep, heavy.
Yeah.
It doesn't
doesn't
on
make you want to like
Right.
make a mean face. You're
Yes.
like
Right.
smiling while you're jamming.
Yeah, fucking vibing. I'm trying to shake my ass all the
down to
way.
it. Yes.
Yes.
And that's all it is.
Yeah.
If you can get the ass shaking, it's good.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, that's it. That's
Going
it.
for it.
You can't go wrong with that kind of logic.
That's what we're going for, the ass kick.
So when
Alright.
when you have a specific, like you're playing a set, any specific, like subgenres, pieces that you try to like pull from in putting that set together, and how can like a specific like city or venue like influence the track that you're putting out or the
Exactly
mix
what I
that
was
you're
gonna say.
putting
It
out?
depends on
Yeah,
the-
yeah.
Yeah. So it all depends on. You want to say when you're playing, where you're playing, kind of who you're playing with, most of all.
Set time does determine a lot because like if
You don't want to come out of the gate banging it out like no one's in the room. What are you doing?
I'm gonna play some chill shit for 20 minutes and then work my
Ease
way
into
up.
it.
Right.
Whereas like if I'm playing at 12 o'clock, I'm gonna come in swinging.
You
Yeah.
kinda went-
Come
you
and
kinda
swing
do
it
that
every
with
time,
Big
baby.
Picture
What you
Flash.
talking about?
I mean, I had that mind frame for
You
a
went
long
too
time.
hard.
It's just balls to
And
the
it was
wall.
great.
Yeah.
forever.
It was great.
Yeah.
All I'm
Like,
saying is,
yeah.
I
Yeah,
know.
yeah, like, follow
doesn't
that.
work with
But
you
like
want the
booking
crowd to,
agents,
Yeah.
Sometimes
They-
they can be like,
okay.
"Oh, I don't want that guy open.
They used to get like,
Yeah.
they used to get mad about that shit.
Oh, yeah, there's a whole stick for
Iris,
years.
no, I don't care. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna say it. Like so especially at Iris, like going to Iris for like the last 4 or 5 years, right? If you have an opener for, a big name, like Boogie T, for example, right?
Mm-hmm.
And if you have an opener that goes too fucking hard, they get mad about it. They get mad about it, and it's real, and they will
So-
fucking boot you out of there. And
I'm
it's,
gonna keep my mouth shut.
he knows. He knows. It's a real thing.
don't want
And
to,
it's like, I'm not anywhere even close to being like involved in the music scene in Iris and Imagine, but it is something as me, a consumer, like I know this. Like I know that this is a thing, and it's crazy to me.
So it comes down to the promoter and the booking agent.
Okay.
If I'm being booked as Stupid Thick, you have to listen to my music and
Yeah.
see what kind of energy I'm bringing to the table.
Yeah.
And put me accordingly. If you put me as an opener, I'm still going to play my music.
Right. Well,
Like, I
that's
don't
what you're
care if
booked
they
to
go
do.
for it.
That's what
What
you're
else is he
fucking
gonna
booked to
play?
do.
I'm playing my music.
What else is he gonna play?
Yeah.
Exactly. He has enough.
Yeah.
He has enough
Yeah.
songs to play his shit
Yeah.
on the.
100%.
Yeah.
But it ain't always like that.
Yeah.
No,
It's not
it's not.
sometimes.
That's,
Yeah.
that, dude.
But if you're a producer and you're being booked for a slot,
but no.
play accordingly, but within your realm
When you're,
still.
so you're definitely play within the genre, right?
Clearly,
so
yeah. And
you
I
have
wouldn't
the
play anything I
umbrellas.
wouldn't
You know, if you're even in like a 4-slot set for like the Whittler, right? You're still not gonna throw down some fucking rhythm. So it's being within the parameters, but at the same time, like there is a little bit of like a, they put their nose up about like being too fire, and so it's like
If you're too good.
It'll start producer range of music.
It's
And
crazy.
It's spiraled downward from there. So
From
like
gain
it
staging, you
used
said?
to be just you gain stage your openers. You
start off low and
you
quiet.
do sound check.
You
and
sit there,
have
you
your max
shuffle.
volume. That's what the headline's
Yeah.
going to play
Yeah.
at.
Sip your drink.
So then you go down
Right.
a couple notches.
That's
and,
just the
like your
conversational
DS
starter
is
shit.
sitting at 12 o'clock level.
It's the tease.
That's
It's
not
the
the game
foreplay.
these days.
It's the foreplay.
Yeah.
It's the foreplay.
But
Is that
everybody
the
likes
game these
foreplay,
days?
but
So like
It's not
they're
the game
taking
these
it a
days.
step
It's not the
further.
right type
Right.
of
They
foreplay.
want
Where
you.
they
They
tailor your
want you
set.
to be the foreplay, but it's like as an artist yourself, like you're like no, like
if you
fuck
put
me for
him
a
up
reason.
front,
Look, it's
that's
not
some
bite
hard
the pillow
foreplay.
and go in and dry.
If you put him up front, that's some
get that.
heavy
I was like the
foreplay.
bass boat.
Right. It's like
I was
you're
like, I'm
doing
gonna
the
do
wrong
something
thing.
heavy.
Let me
You're
throw
putting
it
them
down.
first.
Yeah.
You're doing the wrong thing.
I mean, because I look at it like I'm setting a tone for the night.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay,
It's
X
hard to
expo.
follow.
Yes.
I go
It's hard
this
to
Thank
hard,
you.
follow
so
that.
that
Thank
then the
you.
headliner
Yes.
has to go
Setting a
10
tone
times
for
harder
the
than
night.
me.
Literally.
Yes,
Yeah.
setting a tone for the night. I think that's a good way to put it. What would you
Yeah.
say as like somebody that is like wanting to start taking music a little more seriously? Like, do you have any advice in dealing with like something like a bigger moment like that, or even just like advice like getting into it?
I mean, the biggest thing, not to not to deviate from being serious, but don't take yourself so serious. I mean, just go out there, be you, have fun, make some noise, and I mean, people are going to resonate with that noise. And like the bigger artists, you watch their come up and they're just being doinks like out at college parties doing nonsense. And they're being them. And like you're never going to make good art trying to emulate something completely or to like be not you. Like as an artist, you have to really, you know, put your personality into it. And if it's not going to line up, then it's not going to line up.
It's a reflection of you.
Yeah.
What are you really there for?
Yeah, so like if you're gonna get into the game, like not just you don't have to like have good promo off rip. You don't have to be a social media influencer. You don't have to do all this crazy shit. You have to take yourself serious.
What should somebody focus on? Like if they're gonna focus on anything,
honestly, the music.
Okay.
So I always like to mention and shout out Mytham. I mean, his come up in the game was legendary. I followed him from day one, and I mean, when I got to bring him to Jax originally, I was just super hyped because all this kid's doing is pushing out just fire tune after fire tune.
I seen him down
And
at
he's
TK
not,
Lounge.
like he's not out there trying to get shows like right away. He spent 2 years just grinding out tunes.
Yeah.
He's not
his
making
own
music
sound.
to please someone.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. He's just making tunes.
Digging this
Building your
hole and going,
library.
this is me, this is my groove, this is what it is.
Do you like it or you don't?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
And I mean,
And
that's the best way to
that's
do
the
it.
Yeah.
big thing.
There's a
Labels
lot of
call
re-
that, and we're
yeah.
like, we
Like
want
it or you
that.
don't.
There's
we
a
want
lot of
this sound.
respect
like,
to be had in
Yeah.
keeping true to
And I
yourself
mean-
and your sound. And I think people like definitely appreciate that. You know, it's something to think about. Like coming up and producing music, you're like some people are like care about trying to figure out what it is that people want to hear. But I think that's exactly right. Like when I'm seeing an artist or a DJ, like I want to look at them up on that stage. I want to see them having the fucking time of their life. Like
Just the same like the crowd's there.
exactly.
Yeah.
Like they want to be here, we want to be here, and like that's gonna make me want to like be a fan of your music. And of course, the grind, the come up. Like you'd be surprised at who's fucking watching you.
There's a lot of influences that I have just for my stage presence.
Yeah.
That, is just very monumental just in the way of, how you talk to the people or the timing that you do. Say you're playing a song that's going to be a little weird or is just going to have a vocal that's going to, resonate with the crowd or people are going to notice. What if a song before you make a silly little comment that's like a play on the vocal?
Right.
And then 2 minutes later you drop a track and that's the fucking vocal. People are going to be like, wait, what?
Holy
it's
fuck.
like... It's like the mic way of
You gotta tease
previewing.
it.
Yeah, you tease your track. So
Exactly.
like, it's just an interesting way of doing that like interacts you and the crowd, and like there's a lot of aspects of stuff like that people used to do that I don't see so much more nowadays.
Like
but
the
it was an old
storytelling.
Change
school
up
like
the
Yeah.
your
traditional
stage,
pattern.
your stage presence
Yeah.
used to be like the biggest aspect of your live performance. Now it's
Right.
like how big of a booking can we get based on what we're doing outside of the stage, whereas like I've always been all about like what I'm doing on stage. I personally don't release mixes because of that. Like if you want to hear me mix, like come see me, like
Yeah.
Yep.
and like I like to do a lot of renegades and pop-ups just so that I can keep pushing that sound. And I mean I like to push the specific sound that I like, and I'm not going to do it on a recorded basis because say I play a set here that sounds like this, but people like it.
Right.
What if I want to take that to another city? I don't want to like put that out there so that by the time I get there, they're underwhelmed. You know what I mean? Like it really boils down to, I want to be a live musician. I do produce, but like, I don't want to just like have it strictly digital. Like the whole thing about it is I have
Make
a
your own
personality.
sound.
Yeah. Well, I have a personality where I
Like-
want it to be
It's
like
making
with
your
the
own
Or
sound, and it's
literally make up your
also
own noise.
maintaining that air of like desire to come and see somebody. Like we talk a lot about when you have Millennium, I think is a perfect example of that. So like you listen to his like labels or his albums that he puts out, it's a lot of like
You don't know what the fuck you're gonna get.
the quote unquote
Yeah.
but it's like your classic quote unquote cry banger. Like,
yeah.
let's
You
be
got
fucking
an
real.
emotional song,
Like,
and then
that's
it's
what it
gonna
is.
boom,
Drop.
boom,
That's Millennium's music, that's their
Yeah.
sound.
it gets
Or it's
heavy.
like full emotional, or it
But
could
when
be
you
full bang.
go,
Yeah.
when you go to see an Millennium set, it is like a whole different ball game. Like,
Exactly.
The
You don't know what you're
production.
gonna get. Yeah,
And
you really
that's,
don't know.
that's what makes people want to come
Yes.
see you.
Exactly.
It's like,
exactly.
you know,
The same
you
is the
show
same.
up and you get some crazy shit.
Yeah.
Like, and not to like bash anything, but I've heard a lot of, so Grade A just happened with Suicide Boys, and
Yes.
a lot of people were like, oh, well, I've seen them a ton.
Right.
I'm not going to get tickets to this one because it's going to be super similar.
Yeah.
I kind of know the set order already, this, that, the other.
Yeah.
I don't ever want that to happen.
There's some
with me.
very specific
Yeah.
artists that I could like
And sadly
name
enough, I did hear
myself
that from a
that
lot
I
of
definitely
A lot
could
of
name
people.
myself.
Yeah.
You know,
But-
where I'm like, damn, like I saw this guy like 4 times over COVID. So like when I hear his name now, I'm like, I don't like
Nothing special, right?
Right, I'm like, I
Like,
don't
okay.
need,
You
gotta try to keep it fresh,
I
though.
don't
That's the hardest
need
part.
to see him again.
Which is disappointing too.
Well,
Yeah.
the trick,
Unfortunate,
like
really, to
that's
say
the
for a
difference
lot of
between
artists.
being like, and as you go up through the levels of like your
Right.
like the
That's a
pyramid
big-
of the
that is a
artist,
big
like,
part
it
of
really
it is-
changes. So like as a local DJ,
Yeah.
you got to have fresh shit every goddamn day. You're
Yeah.
playing say a weekly set, bi-weekly, or like even if you're doing 2 sets a week. You got to have a fresh one every time.
Yeah.
That's a lot of freaking music,
a lot of
or
work.
a lot
Like,
of
if not-
variation.
Especially when you're
That's
in
a-
that
that's a
like
lot.
grind, when you're in that
Yeah.
grind
Yeah.
period
They
where
just
you're
shuffle
like
their library.
just
It's a
trying
lot
to
of
get
work.
in front of people and you're grinding it
Yeah.
out and you're like, I gotta put out new
so
shit.
going
But I
from
will
there
say,
to like bouncing city to city,
on the other
you
side
can
of that
keep a little
though,
more stable set.
I think you definitely do have a lot more freedom though, like being able to, you know, govern your own, like playing a Renegade set and saying like I want to do this versus like when you get up to like, you know, if we think of like tiers of like let's put Excision and Subtronics at the top, right? You know, getting to that point, like they're playing their tour and like more of that like specialized like set, like
Yeah,
they
but
don't get to do that
But
anymore.
say you're going to
Right.
see them on 2 stops, you're getting the same set,
Exactly.
and that's where the
It's
downfall
unfortunate.
of getting
Yeah.
too high
Yeah.
up is for me. Like
Yeah.
I always want to stay to where I can keep it versatile, but at the same
Mm-hmm.
time, like leave enough continuity to where people know what they're gonna get. But
Yeah.
like, you know, you always like everything's cooler with
But it's not
lasers,
expected.
right? So you just gotta
Right.
put some spadazzle on that
Yeah.
shit.
Keep
you
it
know?
fresh.
Right. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm probably going to hear this, but it's like, man, did you hear the way he mixed that into this
Right.
song?
Yeah, it's not.
After learning like how to make music, I have like such a bigger respect, you know, for going to shows and, you know, hearing the certain sounds. I'm like, damn, like that must have been fucking tough to make. And I, you
The
know,
time. No,
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and I'll
spend
do that.
hours making
Yeah,
just one
and I'll
bass,
do
they
that. I'll
can
do
have
that
a-
sometimes. Like, you know, I'll just DM with fucking artists. Like, if they like see it or not, and be like, yo, like I heard your fucking flip of like this song. Like I heard it, and I heard you mix into this song, and like that was a fire moment. Like, and I think that you'd be surprised, like that people do listen to that shit, like and respect it. So like somebody who's like learning to mix. So for me, I'm like starting to like learn how to mix, and so what would be like a good like 3 things that you could say like to focus on in terms, and that could be generally speaking to the mix itself or like the details in like the knobs.
So to generalize all the points, and then we'll break down the points, it's a little easier to start. Whenever I show someone how to mix, I take my hand, I put it on the mixer, and I cover up all that a DJ needs to use, which is basically starting at the trim. You have your EQs, your FX, and your fader. That's the only thing you actually need to use to properly DJ, unless you're trying to do anything intricate, special, this, that, the other, just general mixing, just
Right.
to get
Back and forth on track.
just to get your feet in the door. You just need
So
to
you
get
said
down
the
your
trim,
trim,
EQ,
your
and your fader.
EQs, and then the other thing that deviates from that I would say
Song
is
selection.
going to be song selection or song knowledge.
Right, knowing your songs.
That's
So
lady
like
knowing
Landon
how
doesn't
a
know
song-
his song names, but the second he hears it,
Yeah,
he
I know
knows
the
what the
sound
song
of
is.
it.
Okay,
Yeah, I
I'm
know
with
different.
you.
I know all the songs.
This man is
Right.
a fucking
But I don't know
library.
names.
I literally, I can just say,
Oh, you
yo,
just asked me
like,
songs and I
Logan,
get you
what is that song that goes, boom, boom, oh, that's that one track. I was just like, oh,
Yeah.
shit, okay.
So
I
there's
couldn't tell you
different
if I
ways of
can
memorizing your
answer.
Yeah.
music,
I
but
don't know the names.
those are the most important things when you're just starting
Okay.
out. I'll let Landon
What is
start at the trim.
what is your trim? What is the trim?
Okay, Trim in its most simple form is the volume knob for that track on that player. So
Track 1.
you have your player here, you have your player here, you got your mixer in the middle. Each of these players route...
A and B.
Yeah, A routes a song to the middle, B routes a song to the middle. The amount of volume is the trim.
Okay.
So that's your main volume knob for that player. From there, you want to match each of those. So that your song matches your song, matches your song, matches your song,
Right.
song, yada yada.
You don't want a low
Trim
song going into a high song.
is-
Yeah, you
Right.
want your mix being at all the same volume level overall. You want it, and I don't like the term square waveform, but when you're doing a mix, you do want a square waveform. You want
Okay.
that to be just
Yeah.
even across the board, not maxed out in
I mean,
like
don't
the
crush
red.
it red the whole
Yeah,
time.
no,
Right,
but like you want it,
Keep
you
them
want it to be
consistent.
uniform, you know.
And
If you're gonna make a song sound more important, you're gonna do that in the EQing. Than in the trim. You don't want to just like, oh, this is the hottest new track. You're gonna jack the volume up. Like that's just silly.
Right.
Yeah,
You
you want
should
it
do some
consistent.
stuff in your transition that makes the other track fall off, making the other track really just hit heavy.
You want it to fade in right.
Yeah,
So-
yeah.
Okay.
song selection, proper volume mixing,
And then
and really just watch your crowd.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
see what they're reacting to. Like if everyone's just kind of standing there looking at you like,
Kind of just bobbing and waving and not
what's
doing
going on? Yeah,
not doing,
try
if they're
some
not doing the
different stuff,
hippity hoppity,
right.
like what the
if
fuck?
everyone's sitting there,
Right.
what am I gonna do to make them stand up?
Literally, bounce the fuck up, shake that ass, and fucking show them that you like it.
Because
That is the
it-
benefit of Gas Buddy sets is we have so much
a good
fun
time.
just up there together. We
Yeah.
coordinate it really well. Communication is on point. Like we'll just be like, he'll be bringing in a track, or I'll be playing a track that I'm like, okay, this needs to go, and then right after this happens, put your track in like that, or a quick cut, things like that. Like communication so well that we don't really have the issues of a messy back to back.
Okay. So what's a like a dream venue or like a good like or a favorite venue that you play at and that you really
How about that? A
love the
dream
crowd?
favorite
So
venue.
Favorite
and
venue or
then
like
dream.
a dream venue.
Top 10
Yeah.
favorite
Oh,
venues.
so tough.
I've got
Yeah.
TK on there for sure.
For as favorite you play
TK
that.
Lounge, they have amazing hospitality.
It's
They
the
have-
hospitality of TK.
Yeah, they have
Yeah.
great sound. It's
The
just a
visuals,
good
you know,
environment. You know,
I like their like light setup too. Like it's a small like
No, it's
It's a
cool. It's
classic
cool. It's
small
good.
it's very
get up,
intimate
you
because
know.
of how small it is. But you know what?
But it
It's
fits that
good.
vibe of like
Yes.
small room,
Yes,
big
for
system
sure.
kind of vibe. Everyone's
Right.
very energetic, and you know,
Very
and I've
close
seen each of you
Yeah.
play there.
and
Yeah.
it's
It's
a
a good
very
time.
fun
Oh, definitely,
place.
for sure.
Definitely
I really enjoy
dream
it.
venue. I want to hit the Black Box at some point.
Yeah.
Denver,
Colorado.
Denver is a big goal for me to just get out there and just play a couple of shows. But I mean, I got a couple dream festivals. We need to get this guy on Wakan here.
I would
Oh
love
my
it.
god.
Fucking-
Hands down, he would
Listen,
terrify
bro,
us.
you-
He would have a whole new fan base.
If you were to get on that label, that shit would.
I'll tell you what.
and we've been working
You know
towards that for a
what
long
about-
time.
what about
I mean,
you,
5
Logan?
years now.
Like,
We've been
is
working
there-
on getting him on Wakan.
People
Wouldn't
do
you want
some-
to also, or is there a
some
label
crazy
specific
shit
that
to
you would
go
want?
on.
It at first, you know, I was thinking that was a good home for me, but at the
So then what
at
label
this
for you
time,
then?
I don't think so.
Or would
I
you
don't-
still want to be?
I don't
I
think
could see
I
you
don't
on
think I
some
fit with the label at
deadbeats.
the
I
moment.
could see you on some
Stay
deadbeats.
independent?
Yeah, but like I don't know. There's like everything's a little too like mainstream.
I was gonna
at the
say like
moment.
And you're not
deadbeats,
trying to make
not
a
really
specific
what-
No,
Right.
like
No.
I just
Right.
spit out
Match that.
beats. So like
just stick
there's
to your
nothing.
label?
Yeah, like honestly,
Wub tub
like,
till we die.
yeah,
baby.
Wook Tub, man. Like
Yeah.
I'm have no problem chilling in my
So,
tub. as
I
what,
long
love
as
how,
it's
so
nice.
how what would you say Wub Tub represents then? As like you guys as an artist.
Weirdness.
Oh gosh, so like
Wub Tub represents the
freedom.
Yeah,
Just being
wanting
you.
to be in it and do it.
You ever
For it.
walked around in a shirt that just
Yeah.
has a tub on and everyone goes, "Are you a plumber?" No, I like to party. Like that makes
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
sense, but at the same time it,
It does.
Like
yes.
Yeah.
you just
It's
want
like
to
I
be
just
free.
want
You
to
just
be
want
in
to
a
enjoy
tub full of
yourself. You
wubs.
enjoy your life. You want to
Yeah.
enjoy
Yeah.
bass music. Like what?
Normally, when you come up with branding, you're like, okay, I have the branding with the goal of this.
Right.
Yeah.
The whole thing with the Wub Tub is we just made it to do it,
Yeah,
Yeah.
like
and that's what we just want to go and do.
the back
And it
end of the
works.
Wub Tub, I initially started hosting shows and doing the promotion and production to get him booked because, you know, he had good talent. He was amazing at mixing. He'd been doing it for like a decade at that point.
Yeah.
And so, like,
but was fresh to the soil.
Yeah, he was a new name. So, like, how are you going to come out of the rip with no bookings, no releases?
So,
Yeah.
So if you have a label and a production group that's already pushing you third party, like, that's the thing. If you walk up and you tell someone, hey, check out my mixtape, no one's going to listen to it. If you walk up and go, hey, did you hear the new blah, blah, blah track?
Yeah.
Everyone's going to fucking listen to it. Third party is the way.
Yeah.
So if you're your own third party,
That's very
it's awesome.
true.
And, like, I've been using that to my success for a while. Like,
Yeah.
so I showed up to a couple shows in Orlando, and people were like, either where's Wook Doctor or where's the Wub Tub guy?
Yeah.
And I'm like,
all right here.
it's right here.
It's all right here,
What's
baby.
really crazy is like, so talking from another episode in the past, my time in and out of Jacksonville from in Orlando and then back to Jacksonville, it's crazy that while I was living in Orlando, you did come to Orlando and play the show, and I saw you there.
I did.
Yes, and coming back, moving to Jacksonville from Orlando, seeing you guys perform Wub Tub Wednesdays.
Yep.
That's when I first saw you guys, like, really in Jacksonville. That was incredible, because I already seen you perform. I haven't seen you yet, but you guys were playing with that crazy wooden spaceship outside. It was fucking great. And
Oh, that was great.
that's really when I started following you two, and that was fucking crazy, and that led me into being
It's like 5+ years ago.
no, not when I like saw them. That was like
Right.
about 3 years ago, honestly. Yeah, about like 3 years ago, and that led me to finally like meet you guys and all of that. And then when I came into my position and all of that, I definitely wanted to get you guys.
That was the
Like to
first
know
thing
more.
that I was it in like it was a web tub thing that you took me to under the bridge where I met.
Yeah, when you guys did
Yeah.
your web tub takeover.
That was the
on
first.
the bridge.
I think
yeah,
I had been in
took her
Jacksonville. So
there.
I moved to Jacksonville in December.
Yeah, because I remember I met you at Myth running the merch booth like that Thursday.
Oh, right. So that was
It was
a few
all,
weeks.
like, right then.
That was because that was Snails, but it was like I moved to Jacksonville in December, but I didn't like leave my house until February, and then I met him, and then he was like, and that was like at Justice Pub on like
Justice
a
Pub,
Sunday,
like,
on like
for
a
the-
Sunday, and
Weird
so it was like
Yeah.
that like Wednesday that you guys were doing like a thing, and he was like, "Yo, like this is
It'll
happening."
always be a Wednesday.
Right.
Kinda came in with the
So
Love
that
Club
was literally
Wednesday.
like
Yeah.
the first time literally, okay, so the second time I went out, y'all were playing, and I ran into fucking Cody, and I was like, first of all, I was like, why the fuck is Cody Kelly, like, under this
Like, why is he here in the
under
first
this
place?
bridge with me,
Right.
like, whatever.
Not only that, me just walking up to him, hey, what's up,
Well,
buddy?
the thing is,
Like,
too, it was so funny, because, like, I was telling him, I was like, I know that guy. And he was like, no, you don't. And I was like, no, like,
You knew him from Atlanta, right?
I knew him from Atlanta, and then prior to that, fucking when I lived in Ponte Vedra for like literally 3 months, and we matched on fucking Tinder, and like talked about EDM music, and then like it was silent, and then like just out of the blue, he walks into my the dude I was talking to at the time, like he walks in, and I'm like, and it like took us like a minute because we were like, I was like, dude, like
I think I recognize
like,
it, but I'm not sure.
know you. And then, like, we put it together, and then we were just, like, fucking homies. And then, like, 3 years fucking later, I'm like, ain't no motherfucking way.
Yep.
And he did, like, a triple take. Like, he looked at me and then, like, walked away. And I was like...
Came up to me.
And
yeah.
said hi to him.
Is that-
Said hi to him.
Yeah.
Looked at me. Didn't even acknowledge my existence.
Hey, that's the
walked
safe
away.
play, man.
And
If
so I was
think
like,
know
I was
someone,
like,
I don't walk up and do that.
no. And I fucking got him, and I was like,
Yeah, Cody, it's all about you now,
I was
bro.
like,
You're on
fuck it.
fire.
I was like, what the fuck? And then he gave me back, and I was told him, I was like, yeah, okay. And I was like, after that, I was like, okay, I know some people here. I can make Jacksonville work for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, it's been awesome. Yeah. And so I forget, like, you know, this is where I'm from. I'm most comfortable here. And what you guys are doing is fucking awesome. So,
Yeah, absolutely. Traveling with these guys also has been fucking
Yeah.
wild.
so what do you guys have coming up in terms of, like, music, events?
So we
anything
just
you wanna
dropped
talk about there?
Snapback, our newest single, this Monday.
Now, is that released under Gas Buddy or
No,
It's
so-
on my page, but
Yeah.
it's a collaborative release. It's under my name, his
Okay.
name.
What
Okay.
we've been doing recently
everywhere.
with the Gas Buddy project is not pushing things under the name Gas Buddy just because
Okay.
people are going to look up both.
They're gonna be like, what?
But I mean, it's
Okay.
definitely in with all the keywords and whatnot. So if you look up
Yeah.
Gas Buddy, you're getting
It'll
those
come up,
tracks.
but
But like
it's
for the
under our
most
individual
part,
names.
it's individual as a
Okay.
collab.
Awesome.
That way, I mean, it's just been hitting a lot more viewers that way. And I mean, the whole point is to get people to listen to the music. So
Yeah.
whatever works.
And that
Okay.
was Monday.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
And
been
that's been flowing pretty
a
well.
couple days now. Yeah,
And
several
then,
hundred plays already.
Do you have any
Looking good.
shows coming up?
Oh yeah, we got the Smokeland SFAM show.
Oh yeah,
Yes.
September
Are you playing
29th.
for that?
He's
yeah,
direct
I'm right
support.
before.
Yeah.
I'm right,
Yes.
right before SFAM for
SFAM.
Smokeland.
No, you're
No.
direct support
It's
for
the
the tour.
Smokeland
Yes,
show.
yes, yes.
So
With
SFAM is
With
like the
SFAM.
special guest.
SFAM
Okay,
is-
so I'm right before SFAM.
SFAM
Yeah,
is,
so you're
is
second.
direct
Yeah.
support, and then we hell yeah. So
That's
yeah.
gonna be fucking awesome.
God,
That's gonna be
yeah.
awesome.
Oh, that'll be good.
yeah.
That's in
if
September
everything works
sometime.
out, hopefully I can get
Yeah.
on that too. And we
Yeah.
just make it a fucking
That's
fan
my
band.
favorite thing about
Yes,
seeing y'all
yes.
at Myth. It's like when all y'all go up there and it's just like fucking boys and the homies like
Yeah.
chilling,
Right.
vibing, like
It's a lot
See, I
of
used
fun.
to catch a lot of
Yeah.
shit
Let's see
for
if we
that.
can
People
make
would always
that
be like,
work.
"Oh, that guy's
Yeah.
always in the booth," but it's like
it's like my fucking
I'm either
nuts
fixing
now.
volumes or making sure someone's not redlining too
Yeah.
hard,
Right.
or
We're working.
you know, it's I'm always got stank face fucking adjusting everyone's trims, man, as we talked about earlier. Like, check
Yeah.
those trims, fam. If you're
Yeah.
running red,
Ugh.
like, don't be a whore. No red lights.
You're not redlining. You're not headlining, bro.
I mean, I don't know, man.
Ignore that. Don't.
So-
No,
don't.
no, no.
Sometimes
do
I
that.
run red lights. Don't
But,
run red lights, kids.
Like 3 yellows at
Don't
most,
run
fam.
red
Come
lights.
on.
But yeah, no.
Only yellows.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like,
gas,
it's
no
just
brakes.
super fun getting up there doing all that. And then, like, so I've got a solo show. I'm headlining in Orlando. Get Weird Wednesdays is coming back.
Get
So
Weird.
it's going to be
like getting weird.
October 25th, right before Halloween.
Weird.
Okay.
So
Weird.
definitely going to be like a super dark, heavy vibe with that set.
Where at?
That one's going
Geek
to
Easy?
be no, it's
No?
not a Geek Easy anymore. 745 Bennett Road. I forgot the name of the.
Bennett.
So-
Is that Guilt?
That'll help.
No,
That's not Gil.
It's right by Gil.
Yeah, but
it's,
Bennett,
it's in
Bennett,
that area.
yeah, Bennett is by Gil. Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
because I know that area, I know.
Huh. I definitely won't be driving myself to that one.
No,
Oh, God.
yeah,
that.
you should not.
No, just
I'll
a
go with
horror
you.
story last time I left Guilt. Yeah, definitely. I'm gonna see what guest listing I can do. I want to bring the homies out.
You know I'll be
Oh,
there.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
If I can
But
be there,
yeah,
I'll be
no.
there.
Shamrock and them host hell of a show, so definitely excited to get back
Yes.
and be able to be a part of that, and definitely headlining is a cool thing.
Yeah.
Chanel's going to be my DS, so that's going to be super cool. She's always been a really cool homie on the lineup, and it's really cool to always get like paired up.
Yeah.
So her on direct support. We got Fifths, who actually released with the Wub Tub. Fire Tracks. We've got THC Lee, Space Monk, and gosh, I want to say Mr. Tech will be on there as well.
Nice.
So super cool lineup.
Nice.
I'm excited for that one. And then on the Wub Tub front, what is that boat called? The USS
Oh.
USS
Orlin? Something.
Nuclear Navy
All
bomber
I know
here in
is we're putting a
Jacksonville.
rig on a battleship for
Yeah.
a
We're
party
gonna be
coming up
having a
soon.
party on,
Battleship
on an
party?
actual
Yeah.
battleship.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so downtown
battleship.
it's a U.S. Navy battleship.
What
During
are we talking
stages.
dates on this?
Saturday,
September.
September 23rd.
Yeah, it's
something like that.
it's later on in September.
think
There's
it's the
going to be
last
a
Saturday.
couple local groups collaborating to bring that
That's
one
sick.
together, and that to me is a stuff I enjoy.
Yeah.
I like collaborating with different
Yeah,
groups.
September 23rd.
And especially being able on the production side to be able
Yeah.
to work with many groups to bring these shows together. Coming up in the Jax music scene, I mean, it's always been a tooth and nail fight for
Yeah.
who's got the spotlight. When
I think
the
that's
the
really
music
cool about,
scene should be the
about
spotlight, not the
what-
person putting the show on.
Right.
You know.
And
I was-
sometimes you got to take that shit into your own hands, and I think that's what you guys are doing in terms
That
of
I mean, shit. The Underground
Yeah.
Emerge and Disco Boys have been doing that.
Mm-hmm.
Them
Putting in
pushing the
work.
Renegades, like
Yeah.
that has been really heavy for
Very
the
helpful.
scene. Yeah,
Yeah, because they are
that
also
goes a
putting
long
you guys
fucking
on
way,
their
and like people
Yeah.
are coming to
lists
Jacksonville
and all
like,
that.
wait, this goes on here.
Yeah.
And that's inspired other groups. I mean, shit. Me and him
I mean,
talked about it
frequently
for 5-6 years. You know,
every
we
time
need to
bringing
just
new people.
go set up.
So
but
a
the
lot that
amount of-
goes into planning.
Oh
that
yeah,
kind of
but like the
event.
amount of staging and shit we would bring out there, it's not something you can just quickly break down if it gets broken
Yeah.
up by the police. So
Right.
we always put that idea off,
Yeah.
and then seeing them come in and do it, like
Yeah.
it was just awe inspiring to be like, okay, cool, we can do this. Like
Hell
we
yeah.
have
We'll
the
do it.
equipment, we got the tools and resources. Like we need to just bite the bullet and do it. If it gets shut down, fuck it, we'll break it
That's
all
it.
down and load it up. But
Fuck
like.
it.
Yeah, for us initially, it was the big hey, because I had a full wooden stage. And
It was just a lot of
all
work.
these, yeah,
I mean,
it
we
was a
couldn't
lot of
find-
equipment to tote
A lot of
around,
things.
and multiple
Yeah.
trips
Lot
taking things
of
back and
things.
forth. Like
Yeah.
you can't, if say the cops break something up, you can't just like,
Get it
I'll
all
be
done
back
in
in
one
3
time.
runs.
Right.
Like they're
Right.
not cool with that.
They want it done in one.
Yeah,
We just always
yeah.
like to do things so big. That,
Yeah, it's go
Go
big
big
or
or
go
go
home
home,
though.
fuck.
Like yeah.
Right.
That's it.
It
If you're-
is.
Yeah,
Really.
if you're gonna
Yeah.
present your stuff, don't you want it presented?
Don't
in, like,
half-ass it.
the
If you're gonna
best
half-ass
way?
it, don't do it at all.